What's up, everyone? I didn't forget my hat, so I'm already sitting here waiting on you. Thank you guys for the thumbs up already. I appreciate already seeing thumbs up in here. I am so glad to be with you today. Let me mention a couple things first. Hello, Emmanuel from Cali. Good to see you. Thank you for dropping by. To all my regulars that I've already said hey to, channel members, moderators, and people that are always in the chat. Thank you for being here. Much love and respect to you guys. Can't wait to have this conversation with you. I'm very, very excited about talking about the exact date that Thailand will fully reopen for foreign tourism, when life will become normal again here in Thailand and tourism will become normal. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to read you the description and talk about how we're going to arrive at that date and how I have arrived at that date. I'm also 100% very, very excited to hear your comments and your thoughts on dates of opening here in Thailand, your predictions. We're not going to do much talking. Hey, Matt Tech, good to see you, bud. I know you're not late. Rob P, good to see you, bud. The date, price. Charles says, can you pick my lotto numbers too? Hey, man, you never know. When I get into this, and of course, the title is definitely made to get you here, but I'm going to explain a date. I really am. Hello, Michael. Good to see you. And we're going to do that based on the past, based on what's happening in the present, based on what is predicted in the future. So first thing I want to say is I posted a link up in the Matt's made a point here, October 14th, which is, I believe, the date that the government set for the country to open. I don't believe that's going to be the date. When I say reopen, I'm talking about no need for a vaccination card, no need for a quarantine, no need for a certificate of entry, just like it was pre-COVID. That's what I'm talking about that day. Robert N., thank you so much for putting up the Cash App and the PayPal. I will pin that message to the top of the page. Contributions are always appreciated, guys, especially now in this time. For those of you that don't know, I'm in a partial furlough from work, so contributions are always really, really met with a lot of gratitude, so I appreciate those. Did I get a crystal ball? No, I didn't, Ross. We're going to get there, man. And this is absolutely not fake news either. This is not fake news. So we'll get there in just a few minutes. Let's see. Anon won 6,000 baht with a lotto yesterday. Maybe I need to do it. Scotty B Show, hello. Who else do we have here? Filther says, I'm sure Jeremy's fate will be based on science, so it's not fake news. Absolutely. Charles says, I'm all ears. Rob P says, Jeremy, to be fair, you were very speculative on the sandbox date. Yeah, I was. Very speculative on the sandbox date. I remain speculative that the sandbox will continue as planned to be in. I see a lot of problems, and we're going to talk about those problems first. Anna says, I will predict about 90 days after they were seeing the emergency decree. That's fair. Tim says, Crystal Ball, great song by the band Styx. Yes, it was. All right. Let's get into some info here. Let's see what we're talking about. I guess it would be good. Oh, I want to point out, if you're an American citizen living in Thailand, please go back up, or living in Bangkok, please go back up. You can see the link that I posted to It might be living in Thailand. I'm not sure, but I know it's available for Bangkok residents for sure. It's going to be held in Bangkok. On Sunday afternoon in Bang Sue, they're going to offer the AZ jab for American citizens. There's a limited number of slots. Just for the record, for all you guys that think that I'm absolutely anti-vax, which is not the case. You can see right here where it says thank you for registering. That was this morning. That's on my phone. You can see the time and the date, the whole 9 yards, so you know I'm not lying to you about it. Let's see. Ross says, thank you for your interest. The numbers of available COVID-19 doses has been exceeded. If additional spots open, this page will reopen. That fast, huh? Well, I got in there and I did get a response. So maybe, who knows? Maybe I will be able to get one. I don't know. We'll see. That's what's on the link now. Okay. So just that quick, it filled up, but I want to let you guys know about it. Asia Unscripted is actually the guy that sent me that notice this morning, and I appreciate that very much. Asia Unscripted. Hopefully. What's up, Travel Eats? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. So let's talk about what Thailand's done thus far, and let's talk about where we are in the process, and then we'll get to the exact date. Thailand will reopen for foreign tourism with no need for certificates of entry or no need for quarantines, no need for vaccination certificates, all that stuff. We're going to get there. Rob P says that Charles White, we're talking about history repeating itself. Yes, we are indeed. Yes, we definitely are. Let me read for you. Actually, I think I'll read it for the government. I mean, not for the government, from the Tiger instead of from Twitter. So let's go to the Tiger and see if they've got an update posted yet. I believe they do. Tim says, remember, folks, this is Thailand, so everything can change tomorrow. 100% correct, Tim. 100% correct. Let's read this real quick. Thailand has finally hit the mark with the number of new infections. Today's number is 10,082 new infections, and we have had 141 people who are no longer with us, and that's a record. Both of those are records. Let me read you what the Tiger has to say about this. The morning, the Public Health Department has announced 10,082 new infections and 141 people who passed over the past 24 hours across Thailand. The two figures are a record number of cases for the kingdom and sweep the numbers over the psychological barrier of 10,000 cases and 100 people no longer with us. Suffice to say, the October reopening of Thailand is now looking less hopeful as the government struggles to strategize the rollout of vaccines and weigh up provisional restrictions and curfews. Only 127 cases today were from the Thai prison system, so it is what it is. MedTech, I completely agree with your comment. Anon says, by the way, Ross, sorry to hear about Rayon province. Yes, Rayon, I'm going to get to that too, Anon. We're going to talk about the dark red provinces and the ones that have just been engaged, or the ones that the CCSA has now announced that they're imposing even tighter measures are coming. So while they're reopening in part of the country, they're tightening measures in other part of the country. And we'll get to that in just a minute. In fact, we'll get to it right now. 7 more provinces are classified as dark red provinces under maximum control. The CCSA announced today. Tight restrictions in dark red zones were imposed on Monday, restricting interprovincial travel, limiting gatherings to no more than 5 people, and ordering residents to stay home from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. Despite the new restrictions this week, the COVID-19 situation has not improved. Has not improved. See, we're past the point of containment, but we don't understand it. But we don't understand that yet, right? Again, not the government's fault. Not blaming the government. None of that stuff. It's just we're beyond the measures that are trying to be implemented. We're beyond all that, and I don't think we're going to be. I don't foresee. I don't foresee a lot of changes from Thailand, which is why at this time, hang on, let's see. Filter says, Tim, the rules have already changed in Thailand. Now things changed yesterday, but they don't tell you until you violate something. That's true. Hey, Ed, good to see you from the Philippines. Thanks for dropping by, man. Ross says, Anon just keeps getting worse. It does. It definitely does, Ross. Charles says, MedTech, all statements must be in the form of a question, so it's not misconstrued as false facts by YouTube. LOL. Hey, you got a good point there. In fact, MedTech, if you want to reword that would probably be in the best interest of the channel, because I'm going to have enough trouble with this title anyway. Okay, so the situation has not improved, and officials are considering because they implemented 10 provinces with dark red zones and made the massive amount of restrictions that they did. They put the gauntlet down and said you can't do this. They closed businesses. They put in a curfew. They made interprovincial travel extremely difficult. They just implemented measure upon measure upon measure. More people lost their jobs, more people out of work, and more people are saddened by this development, let's call it. So because they put in those new rules, and the situation has not improved, officials are considering imposing more stringent rules, more stringent measures to control the spread of the virus, according to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Department. So if it don't work, double down on it and do it again. The Thai Red Cross Society will import 1 million doses of the Vax to be provided free to the public, according to the NBT. Thai Red Cross Society Secretary General Tej Bunang says the House panel approving the 2022 budget bill that the governmental pharmaceutical organization will handle the import of the vaccine on behalf of the society. Another bullet point, the EU operates a green list of countries which are currently only around 20 in number. Visitors from these countries, which include the US, New Zealand, Canada, and Japan, can enter the EU without mandatory quarantine. Yesterday, EU members agreed to add Ukraine to the green list while removing Thailand and Rwanda. The updating of the EU list will impact on potential European travelers to Thailand's sandbox-style reopening plans for tourists. Travelers now would have to go through quarantine upon their return from Thailand. Countries may be added to the EU's green list if they report fewer than 75 infections per 100,000 people within the previous 14 days. During the height of this mess in March 2020, the EU shut its borders to non-essential travel, but now regularly updates the list of countries from which people can enter even if they are not vaccinated. So let's talk about how far Thailand's pushing here. Despite warning, the WHO, World Health Organization, okay with Thai's plans of mixing the vaccines. So despite an alarming quote from the World Health Organization's chief scientist warning against mixing vaccines, a WHO representative said that the organization is not opposed to Thailand's mix and match strategy. With the efficacy of the Sino reduced as the Delta becomes the dominant strain, officials have approved a plan to administer booster shots of the AZ jab to those who have received 2 doses of Sino already, beginning with healthcare workers most at risk of exposure. Let's see. They talk about being a dangerous trend and why you should be careful on this. Let's catch some comments here. Ross says, fill those. That's also true for immigration paperwork. There's a checklist they give you and it's incomplete. Ed says that will be sometime in 2022. Could be. Could be. At this time, we've been talking for 15 minutes. And before I go into the rest of the news and tell you what's going on, I'm going to tell you my prediction on the exact date when Thailand will return. Let's make it a game for a DoMoreLife hat for the prize. I don't have any more. I only have 3, or I would. I definitely would, Charles. Here's my exact date. Now, notice the wording I said in the, yes, I'm playing semantics here. So, what I want to say is, I said the exact date that Thailand would open with no travel restrictions, no need to show your vaccine card, no quarantine to come into the country, no travel restrictions in the country, and things would be just like they were pre-COVID-19. And my answer to that exact date is never. That's my answer. Never. I fully believe that, and all the evidence points to, Thailand will never return to a new normal, or never return to normal. It will be a new normal. I feel like that the new normal will always require some type of new form of listing, whether it be a vaccine passport or a vaccine card, or some type of measures will always be implemented regarding and surrounding COVID. I don't believe that you will ever see a Thailand return to normal pre-COVID. I don't believe it. And I think, and I don't think, I can pretty much guarantee that by the statistics and by the way Thailand has handled this situation throughout the entirety of the chaos. So if you're looking for Thailand to return to normal like it used to be in the good old days before COVID came around, it will never happen. There will always be something that will be different. Something is going to change in the immigration process, and coming over will be just different. I fully believe that. And I don't want to, that's my date. That's my date is never. I don't think it'll be that way. Now, this is not to bag on Thailand by any means, because I don't think the immigration and return process to any country, anywhere, will ever be the same. I think a new normal will exist, and I believe the answer to that question of what will be the exact date that countries in general will reopen for tourism with as normal before it used to be, like it used to be before COVID, will be never. Things will never get back to the way they were. We will evolve, and they will have different restrictions, period. I don't think that can be argued with. You're welcome to debate me. I'm waiting to have healthy dialogue. But I just don't believe, based on the way countries are handling this situation, that there's ever going to be a place where you can just come back. Like I don't think that you're ever just going to be able to walk back or to fly into Thailand. If you're like an American or come from a Western country where you could get the 30-day stamp, I don't think there will ever be a time when you can just walk right in without paperwork or without new paperwork. And just get your visa stamped and go on a 30-day holiday. I don't think it's going to happen, guys. I don't think it's going to happen. Ross says 10 years from now, they will still want a vax passport. I agree with you, Ross. Sabong says international travel is over as we knew it. This is caused by international agreements to curb global warming. That could be true. That could be true. There could be some truth to that. Anna says, I really don't think never as far as vax card, etc., but I agree that they will insist on tracking apps for the phones for control. And I think they will have, that's fine to disagree on the vax card and that kind of thing. That's cool. But I think that certain countries, and Thailand is one of them, that is just absolutely scared to death. Scared to death of COVID. I don't, as long as COVID exists, and by the way, it's not ever going away. You're not going to eradicate it. I don't think. I can't say that with absolute certainty because I'm not a doctor. I'm not a virologist. I'm not an epidemiologist. This is not medical advice. This is not travel advice, and this is certainly not meant to discourage anyone from coming to Thailand. This is to get you prepared to come to Thailand. And I hope everybody understands that. But Anon says, bingo, good point. Yep. Once C-19 is finished, they will have another, likely. I will think there will be something else, or there will be continuous different strains, possibly. Anon. So Tim says, agreed, Anon, then another, etc. Fair enough. Stuck. Good morning to you. Good evening, sir. I'm glad to see you in the live chat today. It's nice to see you, bud. Thanks for dropping by. Prepford says, I agree, Jeremy. Travel to Thailand will always require 2 magic shots. So if you are anti-magic shot person, then stop whining and enjoy your staycation because you're not going anywhere. You very well could be 100% correct, Prepford. 100% correct. Yes, Stuck is in the house. Yes, MedTech. I saw it pop up right as I was saying it. And you agree. Lyle, thank you for being here, buddy. I appreciate it. Charles, thank you for being here too. Charles says we had an issue in our history where you had to travel with a yellow card. How long did we have to use that for international travel before my time to know? I'm not sure, Charles. I'm not even sure what you're referring to there, bud. But I don't know. Okay, everybody's saying hello. So that's my answer. I'm going to go over why I think it's going to be. I believe it's going to get worse in Thailand before it gets better, and then I believe it's going to get a lot better. I believe Thailand's tourism, after it gets after the mindset changes here in Thailand amongst the Thai people and amongst the government organizations, which it's bound to have to do at some point. I think that there will be no doubt that tourism will wake up in Thailand, take off, and I think Thailand will be the place to be. I do. I just don't think it's the place to be right now at this time. That's my personal opinion on living here 3 years or more. Let's see. Somebody wants to send me a message. So let's see what they want to say. Well, I can't find them. Message request. Here we go. Right out loud, it's time for us to ignore the ignorant. Glad to see someone else stand up to the blatant. Thank you, Mr. Robert N. Not that Robert N, but this in our chat, but I appreciate that. So where was I? 30 and a wake up says, good evening, all. In day 2 at the ASQ, not a bad experience so far. That's good, 30 and a wake up. I'm glad you're having a good time there. Is the agenda health or Rob says? So I think the agenda is going to be that they're focused on health, but what the problem is right now, the way I see it. Okay, these are my opinions. Again, this is the way I view what's happening right now in Thailand. So this is not fact-based news, so don't take it as formal news. What I'm saying, when I'm quoting something from a media source, you can take that as news. Okay, this is what I think. I think that right now, this country at least, and other countries as well, not just Thailand, are so concerned about the potential consequences of people getting infected with this virus that they're still focused on eradicating the virus. And it's just, I don't see how that could happen. I don't see how it could happen. Not at this point. Even we know for a fact, okay, that you can still get the virus even if you get the vax. We know that. We know that jabs are non-FDA approved. However, they are EUD approved, emergency use, EUA, whatever, emergency use authorization approved. So we don't have enough data really to understand whether or not the long-term effects of the jabs will securely eradicate the virus itself. Hope so. Hope it does. Definitely hope it does, and hope that this is seen as something like a polio or a smallpox or something that was eradicated. I mean, by definition, it's been eradicated. So I think that's something for us to keep in mind as we continue to think about as we begin our travels. And also as you judge whether or not you want the jab, because some people still don't want it and some people do. And again, I'm a big believer in freedom of choice. So whatever you decide, I'm good with it. One way or the other. Doesn't matter to me. You guys just saw the proof that I attempted to register for to get the AZ jab on Sunday. Hopefully I'll get an email. Who knows? I might get the email while we're having the live stream. And if I do, I'll let you guys know. Let's see. Where was I? And I said, DoMoreLife. What I mean is that somebody will weaponize another. It's possible. It's possible. It's definitely possible. Hey, Jose said, hey, Jose, good to see you, man. Charles says it was some kind of vac proof. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember which one it was for, Charles. Stuck saying hello. Everybody's saying hello, hello, hello. And I says, Charles White, yellow books only required in certain circumstances from back in the 50s until computerized health records. Yellow fever was okay. Gotcha. Understood. Stuck says it MedTech made it through, so I can't complain. I'm sorry you had a bad day, Stuck. Cool, Charles. Thanks for verifying that. Anon says, by the way, Charles White, those are still required if you come from certain countries. I didn't know that. Ross, that's funny. MedTech says, I disagree with you on that, Jeremy. I think Thailand has killed its tourism industry for the next 10 plus years. You know what, bud? We're actually not that far out in disagreement. What's happening is they've closed more businesses. I'm going to read you the information here in just a second, okay? By adding these new provinces, they've closed more businesses, put more people out of work, done more damage to the economy. These are facts. This is not fake news, okay? These are facts. When you put people out of work and you shut down businesses, the economy suffers. That's a fact. That's not fake. All right. So, I don't know. I can't get into the line of thinking as to what is actually going on here. We have the Phuket sandbox, which to Thailand's credit seems to be working quite well. They've only had a very low number of infections. And to my surprise, and I'm more than happy to sit here and say I was extremely skeptical and I was extremely pessimistic about the sandbox model working. I'm here to stand corrected as well, and I believe it's doing its thing. The numbers that are being provided, I believe, are a little bit skewed, maybe, because they're not exactly saying which the people that are coming who are internet, like which ones are foreign tourists or which ones are repatriating Thais or which ones are expats that are coming back because they have family here or they have a job here or they have a condo here, land here, whatever the case may be. You guys don't mind hitting the thumbs up button, I'd appreciate it. So for those reasons, we only get the total number of travelers, right? Which is still great. People coming in help the Thai economy, and right now the Thai economy is in desperate need of help. And MedTech, to your point, I think that Thailand's economy will continue to suffer until they open back up businesses. And they open back up the tourism industry without all the fear from COVID. And, you know, I'm sure vaccines are going to play a big role in this. Obviously, Thailand is pushing for vax for everybody. And that's fine. That's fine. That's the way they feel. That's fine. I'll oblige. You know, I've told you guys where I stand on this before. But I'll oblige. I just showed you I'll show it again for those of you that weren't in here earlier. But I attempted a registration this morning, and I certainly hope that it goes through. But you can read right there where it says "Thank you for your registration." So I will wait on the email. That's the process. I'll wait on the email and see if I get the jab. Definitely is not the one I wanted to get, but it is what it is. And it says 30-minute wake up. Be sure to install Food Panda app. It's a lifesaver. Yes, it is. Grab's also decent too. Not bad. 7-Eleven app can bring you food and that kind of thing. And I says, Ross, there is not a V for that particular condition. Charles says, Ross, I think that's still MedTech. I agree with you. Ross says, Anon, would you really want a vax for it? Good point. That's a joke, by the way, guys, in case you missed it in the conversation. 10 plus years. I think that it will likely take it to. I think it will likely take Thailand's economy that long to recover in terms of monetary, in terms of the amount that they've lost, right? But I don't think it'll take 10 years for tourism to come back to Thailand. I can just tell you that my never statement on the exact date when Thailand will return to normal tourism operations, just like it was before COVID came around. I don't think it'll ever happen. My answer is never to that, because there will always be a new form of documentation or a new process you have to go through. Something new will always be new, and I just believe that. I don't think that there's a lot to look forward to in the immediate future here in Thailand. However, I'm optimistic about the long-term future, and I will be giving that information out here shortly. So, let's see what we have over here in the comment section. Jose says they're talking about a potential third. Yep, they are talking about that, Jose. Anna says, Jose, there are a lot of vaccines that require booster jabs. Think about tetanus. Yep, that's true. My only argument to that is, a tetanus booster has been around for years and years and years and years, and there's a lot of data. Stuck in Florida says yellow fever has caused a man to have take medication, though. Yes, it has, Stuck. Yes, it has. Left y'all around. The ones who haven't had the you can't say that for sure. Can't say that for sure, bud. Can't say that for sure because you don't know. You don't know, and statistically, I don't think that's true. Lyle says, Stuck, those are blue pills. I hear you, man. Filto says if they really want to boost vax rates, they need to advertise the jab on TV listing extreme peanut. This is a side effect. That's funny. That's hilarious, actually. Stuck says, Lyle and antibiotics. That's true. That's true. And I've got a good point there. Ron P says, what's the over-under on bot versus dollar? I'll look that up in just a minute. Robert has dropped the PayPal link in again. Thank you, Robert, for dropping the PayPal link. Maybe somebody throws out a challenge here in a little while. I don't know. But any and all contributions would certainly be appreciated, for sure. Lyle says 25 up, 2 down. Good, maybe we'll get some more ups in here. Ross says, July 18, 2021, thank you for your interest. The numbers of available doses has been exceeded, closed again. Okay. That's a lot of wording in there. I don't want to leave in the comment section, Ross, for YouTube. Anon says, hey, Jose, and Japanese encephalitis and rabies and a whole lot of others also think the annual flu jab, not a booster, but modified each year. True that. Ross is answering Rob's question. Thank you, Ross, because I didn't want to have to look it up. 32.8 for the weekend. That's not bad. Seems to be going up and back down. Asian script says that's true. The bot is going up and down. Lyle has a challenge. Let's see if we can meet this challenge. That would be great. Be absolutely fantastic. Lyle says get 70 USD PayPal or Cash App, which the link to those are at the top under Robert N. His comment is pinned to the top, my PayPal link and the Cash App. If we get 70 USD PayPal or Cash App, Lyle will throw in $30 more, making it a $100 day for DoMoreLife, and I will be sleeping better tonight and be more prepared to bring you more information tomorrow. Tomorrow I want to have a fun live stream where we talk about girls and Thai girls and my experience, and talk about some other people's experience, and talk about the good, the bad, the ups and downs, what to look out for, and all that good stuff. Stuck in Florida, thank you for throwing out that challenge, Lyle. Nobody has taken you up on it yet, but I'm sure with the group we have, we will. And just as I say that, our good friend of the channel and a good man, obviously, Mr. Charles White, has come in with the first contribution, and I'm just waiting for the email to come through. There it is. Mr. Charles White, thank you so very much, sir. I genuinely appreciate it. Oh, he says, waited for you to read the challenge. Got you, bud. Charles White. There it is. $20. So 20 down, 50 to go. 50 to go. Lyle. Surely we can get that with 55 people in the chat right now. That's awesome. Thank you, Lyle. Stuck says, Anon, I've taken so many jabs to travel to certain areas, I don't think much about it anymore. Fair enough, Stuck. Ross says, Age Unscripted, from what I'm reading, expect 35 to 37 by November. Oh, you're talking about the bot. Okay. 35 to 37 to the dollar by November. Awesome. Tim says, well, how much has Thailand lost so far? I read numbers that were in the hundreds of billions of baht. I also read that, or also heard from a lawyer. Again, this is not, don't hold me to this, not the gospel. Okay. But I heard from a lawyer that, with the restaurant industry basically being closed in so many provinces now, that they're losing about 1 billion baht a day. That's what was provided by a lawyer to me. You can fact check that. Like I said, I'm not a financial analyst. This is not financial advice. This is just, stick with me. Charles says, hell, we have an influenza annual. This could be the next one. Could be, Charles. Never know. We never know. We hope for the best. We hope that the jabs really work, and we hope that they do a good job and that they don't hurt people. Obviously, there are some side effects associated with some of them, but people don't seem to care about that. People just seem to care about making sure that you put that in your arm, and that's all that matters. People don't seem to care that it's hurting, that other people are hurting, or other people are passing from some of the jabs. People don't seem to care about that. So, Glenn Loader says vaccination books were still used up until the 80s for cholera and other diseases in Asia and other parts of the world in order to enter those countries. And we have another PayPal trying to meet Lyle's challenge here. That is fantastic. Thank you guys so much. You have no idea how much I appreciate it and how much it helps right now. Especially. This is from Thomas. I will not read his last name. He says, hello from Florida. Hello to you, Mr. Thomas. This is a $10 PayPal, and I am extremely grateful for your $10 PayPal, sir. Thank you very much. So 40 to go. Lyle, 40 to go. And I says, stuck in Florida doing, Rob P says, not into supplements either. Love natural herbal remedies. I love herbal remedies myself, Rob. Unfortunately, depending on the country that you live in, they may be hard to get. In America, there are a ton of herbal remedies that you can get for all kinds of illnesses. Over here, it's a little bit different. Anon says, stuck in Florida doing 20 in the military. I've had to take so many jabs. I'm a pincushion. Even had to get the collar jab a few times. Pity it only lasted 6 months. I know, right? Seren status, MedTech says, I have not heard anything on Seren MedTech directly, or I would give you that answer, sir. I apologize for that. Another $10 coming in, down to $30 needed to meet Lyle's challenge. Lyle, I appreciate you putting out these challenges, man. It's absolutely awesome. This is from Mr. Richard Cyphers. It says, great video show, and I will cover it. He has his middle initial in there, so I don't want to put that. But Mr. Richard Cyphers, thank you so much for your contribution, sir. I really appreciate it. Keeps me going, keeps the channel going, and we appreciate it very, very, very much. Let's see here. Ross says to Second Florida, anyone who has served in the armed forces knows about getting jabbed, air guns, and more. Pincushion. Wow. We have another PayPal coming in. So we're now down to 20 more needed for Lyle's challenge. Thank you very much, Mr. Michael. This is Michael Worthington. He put his full name up on the screen, so I don't think it'd be a problem to show his contribution right there. $10. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. I cannot say thank you enough. I really can't say thank you enough. You have no idea how much I appreciate it, especially during these times that we're in right now. Tough spot for me, but you guys are always coming through, always, and I love you for it. I really, really, genuinely mean that. Ross, Anon says that Ross, shoot, I remember the air gun from Mass V drives in school growing up. Gotta love Thailand. Hello to you, sir. Tim says, ears perk up like a dog hearing a strange sound. Girls. I hear you, bud. We're definitely going to get into that. We'll do a live stream and talk about that tomorrow and see what happens. Rob P says, why don't they send people door to door for their tetanus booster when tetanus has a 10-time death rate? Wake up, folks. That's a fair comment. And I wanted to talk about, let me stop right there for a minute. Because there's an article I want to read to you from the Patia Mail, which I saw this morning. I think it is very, 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 or maybe it's from the TPN National. I can't remember. Very important regarding that topic. Here we go. So, if you've heard anything about talk of going door to door in America and other places, they're going door to door testing in Bangkok as we speak. This is from the TPNnational.com. It says Thai Prime Minister orders mobile medical corps to conduct proactive C-19 test approach at Bangkok houses starting today, which was actually yesterday. It says the Prime Minister has ordered mobile soldiers and police units to proactively approach people's homes and conduct testing in Bangkok with Bangkok public health officials starting today, July 16th. Following the order, the team of the Medical Corps of the military troops and the Royal Thai Police, also known as RDF, was deployed to work with Bangkok provincial authorities to proactively approach and assist the C-19 test process using the rapid antigen test for people living in Bangkok and surrounding areas. If a patient was found, they would be immediately taken to a field hospital, while those who were considered in a high-risk group and in close contact with infected patients would be given, I guess, this two types of medicine here. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. To reduce the number of mild to no symptom patients and to reduce the burden of hospitals and field hospitals. The operation starts today onwards and will essentially involve officials knocking on people's doors in quote, high-risk areas and asking them to conduct a C-19 test. TPN media noted that it was not immediately made clear if someone could voluntarily refuse a test and what would happen if they did so. So, welcome to the new world. That's a big deal, guys. That's a big deal. I mean, it really is. Let's see here. The Prime Minister also posted something on his Facebook, and I wanted you guys to read this, or I wanted you to hear this, also from TPNnational.com. The Thai Prime Minister states further COVID-19 restrictions and controls coming, says it is necessary. The PM posted on the social media accounts in the past hour, this was yesterday, directly addressing speculation over the past several hours about further restrictions, closure measures, regulations, and other measures to control C-19, especially in Bangkok. and maximum control dark red by a Thai color coding system provinces. The PM confirmed in his post that a meeting with the CCSA and relevant agencies, doctors, experts, and further measures were needed. This is, again, the part that I don't understand. Further measures are needed. Well, you just did a big sweeping 10 province dark red closures, and now we just had today we just broke more than 10,000 cases, and well over 100 people passed away. So now we're going to double down on that. It says this comes after measures enacted on Monday of this week were seen by experts from Public Health Ministry and Department of Disease Control as not enough. Not enough. Remember, this is basically a soft lockdown, and they're saying it's not enough. It's not enough. They still think they can control it. They still think they can control the spread. It's community wide. You can't. It's gone from clusters to community. It's just, I'm not sure of their thinking, but again, I'm not a medical doctor or a public health official, and I could be completely wrong about everything. That's why you should not take what I say as medical advice for any reason. The spokesperson for the CCSA said at a press conference this afternoon that people were not taking overnight stay-at-home restrictions in Bangkok and other areas seriously enough, and many people continued to gather, socialize, gamble, drink alcohol, and other behaviors that could continue to spread the virus. Apizamai was the first to state that the CCSA was considering stricter measures as well as changing color codes in some provinces. Now, before I get back over to the comments, let me read you what they did, because they absolutely imposed stricter measures. And here's what happened. 7 more provinces classified by the CCSA as dark red zones under maximum control. The CCSA announced today tight restrictions in dark red zones were imposed on Monday, restricting interprovincial travel, limiting gatherings to no more than 5 people, and ordering residents to stay home from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. Despite the new restrictions this week, the situation has not improved, and officials are considering imposing more stringent measures to control the spread of the virus. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Department of Information News Division Director, I'm not going to try to pronounce her name, who gave the daily CCSA report in English. The 7 provinces added to the list are Chonburi, a province that I cannot pronounce. It starts with a C. Rayong, Ratchaburi, Udon Thani, Surin. There you go, Matt Tech. Surin is now dark red. And Ubon Ratchathani. So Chonburi is now in that. If you were thinking about going to Pattaya, you likely won't be able to get in there unless you have a really, 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 really good reasons. Because it's now one of those interprovincial closed zones that you're going to that'll have checkpoints set up around it, the whole 9 yards. The 7 provinces added to the list. It goes on to talk about those, and it says the spokesperson says those provinces are now classified as dark red zones because the number of daily infections has exceeded 100. These 7 provinces had detected over 100 new confirmed infections, and therefore it is advised that people residing in these 7 provinces practice the same public health measures as announced in the maximum controlled areas. And then it goes on to give a list of the dark red zones, a complete picture of all of them. So now we have door-to-door testing in Bangkok. We have 7 more provinces added to the dark red zone. So that likely means, logically, one would assume that the 14-day order that was placed on Monday will likely be extended, as was the emergency decree. Excuse me, guys, my lips are dry. As the emergency decree was also extended. For those of you that don't know what the emergency decree is, it basically gives the government sweeping powers to do pretty much whatever they want. Now, back to the comments. Filtho says, I think that could shift that never date is how other regional countries competing for tourism open. If Cambodia or Phils want tourism to develop their countries like it did for Thailand. You got a point, Filthos. You definitely have a point there. Over the last 50 years, they could kick Thailand butt. Hey man, anything's possible. Stuck in Florida says Rob P because I can't give you tetanus. That's a good point. Hey Jose says 1 billion baht, JC. That's what the reports say. Tim says, well, this is a door open moment for all these Southeast Asian countries who want some of that Thailand tourism dollars. Step up. You got a good point, Tim. There are Southeast Asian countries right now that are considering dropping their requirements. Look at Singapore. Go look at Singapore's the way that they're handling the situation and the way that they're going to handle it moving forward. I think that Singapore has the best grasp on what is actually going on and what how to combat the situation. I really do think so. Hey Gregory, it's good to see you. Thank you for being a channel member, and I appreciate you being here. Good afternoon to you from Australia. MedTech, I just read your CERN status. Stuck says, by the way, Rob P, less than 50K a year from Tetanus Worldwide. That's cool. Your rusty wrench can give me tetanus. You guys are talking about boot camp. Lyle says, somebody make me pay. Oh yeah, we only have $20 more, by the way. $20 USD to PayPal or Cash App, and Lyle will kick in 30 to make a $100 day for DoMoreLife, and I will sleep like a baby tonight, and it'll really help out, guys. It really would. So I appreciate that very, very much. Philfo says, does anyone know the process for emergency use approval? I want to get my H2O based Pseudovax approved for California, just for those who want to self-identify as vaccinated. That's funny. Tim says, JC, we really appreciate what you do for us. You are more than welcome, Tim. I try, man. I really try. Charles says, the trickle down will really hurt. Farms supplying restaurants are hosed. Excess crop, dropping prices, long-term damage to the food supply. These are all accurate points, Charles. All accurate points. And you know, it's going to be here in Thailand. They've actually have in certain areas of Bangkok, the homelessness rate is just skyrocketed. In Pattaya, the homelessness rate has skyrocketed, and the way people work, this is not to scare anybody, okay? But this is just history. This is how people operate. This the human nature, right? When people start to starve and when people start to run out of hope, they turn in with people with nothing to lose. So people with nothing to lose nothing. And the person with nothing to lose is always a dangerous person, because you just never know what they're going to do to get what they need. Survival method kicks in, fight or flight kicks in, and they do what they have to do. Crime, you see a little bit of crime uptick here in Thailand, which you generally don't see. I mean, it's probably because people are trying to feed themselves. That would be my first guess. And I says that Tim, barely, but yes, I do remember getting about 250 jabs. Do you remember deployment process and getting keep doing the same thing the same way, Tim says. Thank you, bud. Yeah. With the insanity thing, you know, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And, you know, I'm not calling Thailand government insane by any means. I fully believe Thailand has the best of intentions in what they're doing. But the best of intentions, unfortunately, is causing damage to the people, damage to the economy, damage to the livelihoods of people here in Thailand. You know, with the rollout being as slow as it was, it's just not going to be. I hope my hope is that the authorities and that the officials that are making these decisions start to open their mind a little bit. You know, I see people walking around wearing 2 or 3 masks here in Thailand. You know, is that effective? I don't know. I haven't seen any studies that claim that prove that they are. I'm not saying they're not, but I haven't seen any studies that show that to be absolute. Tim says they should start worrying about getting jabs and then getting jabs to the people. I agree, Tim. It does seem that even though those jabs, you can still get the virus, you can still spread the virus, you can still, you know, there's no guarantee with them, but it does seem to lower the mortality rate, which is great. And it does seem to lower the number of people who get infected, which is fantastic, especially for Thailand. They're all about the numbers. So, and the other thing is, it does seem to have much less, like if you catch the infection, you have the symptoms are less severe. However, what you don't read about in public is things you have to get on forums and stuff and read about the side effects of actually taking these taking these jabs. There are side effects to them. I'm not going to go into detail, but they're all over the internet. You just have to know where to look. I have a new channel on a new platform. I'll talk more about that later. I don't currently have any videos uploaded to it yet. And then I'm going to have another channel on another platform which has even less restrictions. And I'll tell you exactly what I think on that channel. So we're going to do, oh, by the way, for channel members only, we're going to do a line group for channel members only. So I will post my line ID. This is my line. Let me post my line. That is my line ID. And if you are a channel member, of course, I can always look it up on YouTube. But if you hit me up online and want to be a part of the group, I will create a channel members only group online, and we can have at it there. Be a private group, so we can talk about whatever we want to, and it won't be a Facebook group. So not worried about censorship or any of that stuff. Let's see. Stoke says Anon 555 didn't actually say that, but it's a great saying. True. Tim says, and I keep doing the same thing the same way and expecting a different result. All right, good. We already have people coming in to the line. I will get up with all you new people as you come into the line. Don't forget, we still have Lyle's Challenge out there. We need 20 more US dollars to hit Lyle's Challenge, by the way. Tim said, Anna says, DoMoreLife, nice disclaimer subtly thrown in there. Well, I have to give the disclaimers. That's okay. And I got you, bud. That's okay. Okay, good. So a lot of people are adding me to line. And that's a good thing. When you add me to line, send me a message. Send me a message that just says, I am a channel member. If you don't send that message, I am a channel member, then I won't add you to the group. Okay. So, make sure that you send a message that I am a channel member. When you add me to, or when you add me as a friend online, make sure you send a message with that says, I am a channel member. And a lot of people are, doing that right now. So that's great. We'll let it keep ticking and clicking and all that good stuff. Einstein is credited with it, yes. Let's see. Robert Mack says, why spend so much time and manpower going door-to-door testing, spend more time getting more supplies, and open multiple mass jab locations with military medical staff? That would be 100% more effective, in my opinion, Robert, because but here's the but. I don't think Thailand has the number of vaccines that they need right now. They just don't have them, and because they don't have them, they can't open up these sites, these mass jab sites. So I don't know. And for those of you just joining us, we were talking about. I want to be sure I reiterate to stay on topic here. We're talking about the exact date Thailand would reopen. Fully reopen to foreign tourism without any quarantine, any vaccine paperwork needed, any certificates of entry, anything like that. Okay. And my exact date on that was never. There will never be a time. There will be a new normal. There will never be a time as normal in the past, pre-COVID. There will never be. I don't believe there will ever be a time. So my exact date on Thailand's reopening fully to the way it used to be in Thailand is never. There will be changes. Some of them may be significant, some of them not. I just got a message from one of you guys online that says I watch your channel frequently. That's cool, and I appreciate that very, very much. But in order to be in this group, this is going to be for channel members only. So if you are not a channel member, you can sign up to be a channel member. It's only $2.99 a month. And you can do that by hitting the join button below this video. So I just want to make sure everybody is aware of that. I appreciate you guys that watch, but you must be a channel member in order to get into this group. I have a public Facebook group for the channel for everybody, but this will be a channel members only group. Let's see. Tim says, why don't they just come out and say it? Thailand is closed down until further notice so they can start working on a fix for the problem. Well, that's because the fix for the problem is essentially twofold. One, learning how to live with this, and two, getting enough jabs in here so that less people are affected. Griffin, thank you. We are $10 short now. Griffin, my man, has come on with a $10 Cash App. Let me refresh here. And he's got his whole name up there, so I'll cover up his whole name. But $10 on the Cash App. We are $10 away from hitting our goal and making Lyle pay. Griffin, I appreciate that very much. Thank you, sir. Send you a heart there for that because I very, very, very much appreciate it. Now, back to the question at hand. Good. We got a new member. Who is the new channel member? Mr. Todd Bailey. Welcome to the DoMoreLife family. And go to the community tab after the live stream and access the channel members videos and all the content that I have there for you guys. Feel free to look around and enjoy because there's a lot of comments there for sure. All right, where was I? But yeah, Robert Mack. That's why I don't think they have the the number of jabs they need to do that. And Tim, same thing. I don't think they have the number of jabs they need to rectify the problem. So it kind of puts a damper on things, but at the same time, it is what it is. Stuck says, Tim, yes, but there's no proof he ever said it. Einstein's one of the most misquoted people ever. That's fair enough. Anon says, Hey, Jose, these all appear to be provinces with more than 100 daily cases for a few days. That's true. They will probably need to be below that number for a couple of straight weeks before it's lifted. I agree. If not, a couple of months, the way that Thailand does things. And that's why I'm saying the exact date of fully reopening with no quarantines, no vaccine passports, no vaccine paperwork, just come into Thailand freely like you used to be able to do before COVID will most likely never happen. My date is never. That's my date. But you make a good point, and Robert, let's see. Hey, Jose says, and thank you, good sir. Rob P says, love your sober energy, Jeremy. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate that. We're $10 away from me having a energy boost for sure. Just because of the situation I'm currently in right now. To give you guys an idea of how bad it is, the schools are the schools are in a just a free fall here in Thailand. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with the school year, but it's rough. It's rough, and the students are missing out on a lot of education. Even though most schools have gone online, some of the schools, I don't want to dive into that on YouTube. It's just too much trouble. Ross says, Singapore is the size of Bangkok, much easier to control with only 3 ways in: airport, 1 bridge, or by ship. That's true, but the way that they're handling the situation is what I believe will be the way for every country to handle the situation. That's my personal opinion. Robert Mack says, if Thailand doesn't open up without restrictions on or around December, it's only going to be more devastating for the Thai people. Every day that goes by, Robert Mack, I mean, your point is fair, but every day that goes by is more and more devastating for the Thai people. These restrictions, frankly, I couldn't believe that they came out with more dark red zones, more, because it's closing more businesses. And every time you do this, you're creating that many more people without work. Yes, there's this 42 million baht stimulus plan that's coming out, but when you think about the number of people you're talking about, is it, just how big is the impact going to be? I don't know. It is heartbreaking, Robert Mack. I agree. Anna says, stuck in Florida, he definitely is highly misquoted. That's why when I throw out a quote at random, I always say reportedly or allegedly. Gotcha. Talking about Einstein. Let's see here. All right, people are still adding to the line. Just make sure you say you're a channel member on there. Stuck says it's a sad situation in many countries. It is. It really is. In many countries, it's a very sad situation, and unfortunately, getting people to open their minds and think about this thing differently, again, in my opinion, is going to take. I hesitate to use the word movement, but it's going to take some kind of mindset change from the people, like the people of these countries. I'm not just talking about Thailand, but the people of these countries are going to have to make a decision on how they want to live, and then they're going to have to somehow enforce that decision. I don't know how that will happen. It could be bad. It could be good. We don't know. We just don't know what's going to happen. Bangkok Warrior says, it's called Thai Logic equals, can't leave that up. Can't leave that up, Bangkok Warrior. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just saying I can't leave that up. But I am familiar with the Thai logic concept. You know, like as I've said, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but these lockdown measures and containment is just, I don't understand at this point. I just don't understand. I don't know why it's happening. I don't know why you're, you know, I just don't, I just hate to see such a beautiful, wonderful country like Thailand with so many fantastic, wonderful people. I hate to see them go through this. I really do. And it's no fault of their own. And that's what makes it so much worse. Stuck says, quote, the best of intentions is often used after something goes wrong. That is very, very accurate. Very accurate. Lyle says, 36 up, 5 down. Your troll power is strong today. Good. I love it when they're in here. And I says, if Filthos, please be very, very careful about talking about that specific person. Don't want to get DoMoreLife in some serious trouble from the local LEOs. Yeah, I don't know who he's talking about, so I assume you guys got that taken care of there. There was my line ID. Stuck says, I haven't added line to this phone. I haven't needed it. Okay, that's fair. But we're going to have a line group. The Telegram group requires you to sign up with a phone number. And I didn't want everybody to have to put a phone number in there for your own privacy, your own security. Line, you can just sign up with your line ID. You don't have to put your phone number in there. So I thought line was the better option for that. Filtho says, and I'm just checking on his well-being and stressing the importance of that. Fair enough. I don't know I'm not sure exactly what that conversation entailed, guys. Let's see here. Make Lyle pay. Charles White says, make Lyle pay. We only need $10 more, by the way. $10 more to make Lyle pay. And via PayPal or Cash App. Either one. And I says, be right back. Charles says, JC, your phone will be blow like a speaker soon. Yeah, I know. It's okay. Thanks again, Todd, for joining and becoming a channel member. Lyle says, becoming a channel member is worth the trouble. If you don't know Jeremy as a photographer, if you like bikinis, you know what I mean. That's true. Charles says, my girlfriend's friends are all moving out of the apartment block they live in. They can't afford 7,000 baht a month and moving to 3,000 baht places with no AC. A lot of people are doing that here. Myself included. At the end, my contract is up in my apartment at the end of September. And when it's up, then I will go try to find a cheaper place to live here in Bangkok, especially depending on what happens with my job. That's true, Rob. Rob P makes a very good point there. Lyle says, Charles White, I can't do without AC. Me either. I can't either, especially not over here. Stuck says, I believe once enough people in Thailand see the results of not taking the jab, more will want it. That may be true. Very well may be true. Stuck says, I know a lot of people here don't believe it, but the jab is the way to get close to normalcy. Sure. Tim says, okay, folks, I have to get some sleepy time. See y'all later. Okay, Tim. See you, bud. Why? Says, if the measures weren't about control, the country would be letting people catch the bug and treating them with the... Yes. End result would be an immune population. I have to take your comment down just because, even though you did a very good job of coding that. And just so you know, that why, whoever you are, that's my current regimen. So you have an excellent point there, sir. Excellent point. But we all know Big Farm can't make any money off of that. Yeah, you did try. You did try. That was that, and you made a fair point too, bud. Very fair point. Robert B, what's up, bud? Good to see you, man. Stuck says, "Wow, the medical system can't handle the load." I would, yeah, you're right. Robert B says, "Agreed, Stuck. Look at the U.S. versus the rest of the world." Yeah, I heard some stuff going on over there that was kind of startling, a little bit confusing, but it seems as though they're having a problem now getting people to get the jab, because they're, if you go to other places like BitChute, even Rumble and Odyssey, and some of those places, watching these people 15 minutes after getting the jab and seeing what happens, some of them 2 or 3 days later, seeing what happens to them. Maybe you would reconsider your position. Maybe you wouldn't. I don't know. Like I said, nobody seems to, the only thing people seem to care about is being able to get their rights back, which have essentially been taken away. And the only way they think they can do that is by getting the jab. And I'm a victim of my own statement, as I just tried to register for a jab this morning. Hopefully I get it, because eventually at some point, one of two things is going to happen. Either the world is going to change its mindset on this whole thing and say, look, it's something we're going to learn to live with, and we'll have therapeutics for it, or they're going to say everybody's got to have the jab no matter what, or you can't get into this, you can't go here, you can't do that. So, it is what it is. Stuck says, Robert B, I see the difference in the communities here that is highly jabbed and the ones that aren't. Fair enough. Fair enough. Second that Stuck says, hey, Jose. Law says, yep, come on, need 10 more USD, Cash App or PayPal, and I'll throw in 30. Make me pay. So 10 more USD by the end of the live stream. I'll try to keep it going until we get 10 more bucks in there live, because I'm pretty sure we can get 10 more bucks. And I certainly have enough information to give you guys on this whole reopening thing and tourism thing. As of right now, I just want you to understand that the situation in Thailand has disintegrated somewhat. With today, for those of you just joining the live stream, with today marking the highest number of cases reported. And Robert B has just completed the $10 there live. Robert B, thank you so much. I appreciate that. 100%. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And Lyle will follow suit, I'm sure of it, right behind it. And we'll be looking at a good day for DoMoreLife, and I can't thank you guys enough, especially during this time. So, and Lyle says, thanks, Rob. I love you guys. I love you guys. How many times do you see somebody that puts out a challenge thank somebody for making them have to pay more money? You know what I mean? The Cash App is just an app, Mr. Y, and my tag is in the pinned comment at the top of the page. It's just another way to contribute to the channel. Eventually, I'll get back to full-time work here, as I'm in a partial furlough. When I get back to full-time work, we'll be able to start collecting for travel expenses and doing all those good things again, and like we used to. Right now, the total for the day with the fees is probably going to be, let's see, so I'll get the straight 20 from the Cash App, and there's Lyle's. I'll cover his name up because it's he puts his whole name on there. There's his $30. Thank you again, Lyle, so much for putting out the challenge. I really appreciate that. And the PayPal total for today is, one second, Mr. Robert V. I'm happy to answer your question. $77.65. So that's what the fees that it takes out. $77.65 plus 20 is $97.65. So we're about a little less than $3 short of $100 for the day, which is a good day. We used to have a goal of every live stream we tried to do $100, and that would be nice if that could come back, because YouTube's ad revenue is just on this channel. So it is what it is. I'm going to make more content on more platforms and just keep going. And we're going to be fine. DoMoreLife is going to continue for sure. But Robert B., I appreciate your contribution as well. Stuck says, I go to BitChute when I want to know what Bigfoot is up to. Well, I found some very interesting. I actually watched a video from the guy that invented the mRNA vaccine on BitChute, and he had some very interesting things to say. And I checked his name out. I checked out the story, and he literally is the guy that invented the mRNA vax. It was interesting, you know. So it is what it is. If you are still, remember, if you're a channel member and you're adding me by line, if you're going to be in the line group, which I will set up after this live stream, make sure you put I am a channel member. If I don't recognize your name, I'll verify it through the my channel members on YouTube. I can pull it up and see whose name is there. So if your name, whatever your YouTube tag is, you might want to include that just to be sure you don't get left out. Rob P says, only person getting jabbed in my family is my old lady every night. Let's not keep that one up there, but I hear you, Rob. Total for today, got that one. The tag. Oh, you meant the tag, Mr. Y. It's up in that pinned comment again, but I'll give you the tag if you want the tag. It's and yes, that's the Cash App tag right there, Mr. Y. Yes, that is a reference to a Boeing 747-8. Stuck in Florida says, thanks, Lyle, and everyone for helping JC. It's much appreciated, as you know. Absolutely, 100%. And thank you for mentioning that, Stuck. Definitely appreciated. Much appreciated. Super appreciated. Robert V., I could not tell you to do that. That is against YouTube's guidelines, believe it or not. So whether you do or not is up to you. I'm just pulling that one down because I don't want that comment to be up there for YouTube to see. I've seen channels get canceled for that one, by the way. MedTech says, not a channel member. I added you to line contacts just in case. No worries, MedTech. No worries. Bangkok Warrior says it's a catch-22. You don't get the jab, you risk getting sick. You get the jab, you risk getting bad side effects. I'm still sitting on the fence on this, scared either way you look at it. And, you know, really, even though I attempted registration this morning, I haven't received an email yet. Hopefully they get back to me, and I'll let you guys know if that does happen. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to go follow me on Twitter as well. The link to my Twitter is in the description because I'm starting to be more active on Twitter. And that's where I'll be posting those announcements at. So if you guys want to know if I got it or not, you can go to my Twitter, which is, let me see here. I have to check it out myself because I can't remember what my Twitter profile is. It is, Mr. Y sent $10 via the Cash App. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. He covered all the fees for today. And I won't put your name up there, but $10 from him, from the Cash App. You guys just heard the Cash App ring. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that, Mr. Y. Thank you, and thank you again. Yeah, so that's a heck of a day right there. My Twitter is this. This is Twitter. I'll type it in down here at the bottom. You guys can follow me on Twitter if you would like. It's Do More Life. Just like that. There's my Twitter handle. You guys are welcome to follow me on Twitter, and that's where I'll be making a lot of announcements and things coming up. Be sure to turn on the notifications for that. Welcome, James Augustin, to the DoMoreLife family as a channel member. Good to have you on board, man. Thanks. Appreciate that. Very, very much. Glad to have you around. All right, let me get back to where I was at. Bangkok Warrior, I'm with you on being on the fence. I'm just at that point where I'm just tired of hearing everybody tell me what a bad person I am for even considering the right to put stuff into my own body. You know, if I even consider that, I'm a terrible human being, and I'm just tired of it. So anyway, Stuck says I've watched several of RM's videos and have researched what he says. Some of it is outdated, but yes, he was one of the pioneers of it. Fair enough. That's fair. Robert says, oh, wow, my bad. It's all good. Charles says, regardless of the situation there, I want to be there and will do anything, including becoming a lab rat. I hear you, bud. Yeah, the bottom line is, in my opinion, I'm still better off in Thailand than I would be in America. Just because of the culture here, right? Even though the culture is becoming a little bit, just a little bit, you're starting to see some fractures, and especially with people that are experiencing negative consequences from their first jab, and there are quite a few of them. You're starting to see this stuff posted online, and word is spreading. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not saying that there's anything bad happen from a jab. I encourage people, if you think it's the right thing to do for you and your community, to get the jab, then by all means get vaccinated. If you have health issues, talk to your doctor, and as long as they okay you, by all means. I can't give you medical advice, but your doctor can. And whatever your doctor says do, follow their advice. That's my advice to you. Matt Tech says, I agree, Stuck, especially Western solutions. Filtho says, strongly suggest you remove your line ID from comments on this stream before closing it out and repost on channel members only area. Yeah, I thought about that too. Filthos, that's a good idea. Let me just go ahead and shut that down right now. But the thing about line is people can come on there and request to be my friend or whatever and that kind of thing. It takes me about 10 seconds to see who they really are, and then I can block them. So it's not a big, not too big of an issue. But still, thank you, Filthos, for the reminder. I'm cool with your reminder. Todd says, I've had the Pfizer. Side effects suck, but only lasted 24 hours. I'm alive and vaccinated. Good for you, man. Just so you know, we don't put the whole name of the vax up, Todd, just for YouTube purposes, which is why I'm looking forward to this other platform. Now, on the other platform I have, I'm going to be uploading a lot of videos that I've already uploaded here, but they're all going to be based around travel, and they'll be the older videos and that kind of thing, specifically focused on travel. You won't see, even though that platform has the ability to live stream, there'll be I don't plan on live streaming from that platform for various reasons, and we'll get into that later. Stuck in Florida says, Filthos, thumbs up, brilliant comment. You gotta, yeah, that was a good point. Filthos, very good point. And I did remove it. So, on the replay, it won't be available. But thank you for reminding me. I do appreciate that. James, thank you again for becoming a channel member. Matt Tech says, Jeremy, bro is broke. I sent 2,500 baht to him. Yep, and I do appreciate that very, 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 very much, Matt Tech. It's it's tough being out of work. I'm one of the people affected by these restrictions because the schools that I teach operate in some of these dark red zones. So we're adapting as a company, learning how to get these students to learn from their home. Because normally they're at school. We teach, our platform is set up to teach schools, to teach classes at schools, not to teach kids at home. So I've also, a personal update, I've also done a lot of applying for jobs, online teaching jobs that are outside of my regular job. You guys know I teach online, but I'm talking about something like Cambly or Magic Ears or stuff like that, .abc, programs like that, teaching like that. I've been looking at doing that because that would be a guaranteed source of income as I stand by and watch YouTube's ad revenue just absolutely plummet. So it's you guys on the weekends and during the week, the live streams, etc., that keep me going. So that's pretty much where I am with that, and I love you guys. Thank you for it. James says, first channel I feel worth signing up for. You do good work. Thank you so much, James. I really appreciate that, bud. Thank you very much. That means a lot. Bangkok Warrior says, Jeremy, if and when you go get your jab, please do a live show and include how you feel. I don't know that I'll be allowed to do it live, but I would definitely do a video about it, the whole 9 yards, about how I feel, the process that took place, and I will do a daily update on how I feel, because sometimes side effects come later. Sometimes they come sooner. I have seen videos of people have immediate side effects, which I definitely don't want to have happen. So I will definitely record the process and provide you with as much information as possible, Bangkok Warrior. However, I will have to limit that information on YouTube. But on my new channel, I will, which is not affiliated with YouTube, on my new channel, and I'll talk about this new platform and everything once I get some videos on there, and you guys can go over and check it out. Once I will be able to talk about it there, for sure. And then once I open up bits, you can pretty much talk about anything you want to. So those are just some things for you guys to know. Let's see here. Where was I? Okay, Stuck says, if you had a problem with your pecker, you would talk to the doctor about it and trust what he gave you. Do the same with this. Yeah, absolutely. I agree, Stuck. I agree. Talk to your doctor 100%. I said that earlier in the live stream. Talk to your doctor, and whatever your doctor says, do it. But there are people that have underlying conditions that put them at risk, just of getting the jab, and it that's another catch-22 in my opinion. Again, not medical advice, just my opinion, that people with underlying health conditions, which you guys know I have, to get the vax, you may experience a side effect from having the underlying condition, but to get COVID, that underlying condition that you have, and if you don't have the vax, could be potentially, fatal. So it's a catch-22. It's really a difficult decision, at least for me. It is. I don't, I don't put. I'm not judging anybody. I want everybody to understand that. I don't judge people. I believe in your individual right to do what you feel is best. It's your body. Ultimately, you shouldn't let other people decide for you. But if you are making a decision, then seek advice from your doctor. That's the best person you could seek advice from. 100%. Y says, I was born in a communist country. I get an itch in my bones when I hear a person thinking they have a say with what I do or not with my body. Lots of tiny tyrants out there. I tell you what, bud. I If you hadn't thrown the T word in there, that last sentence, I could leave that up. But I absolutely feel for you being born in that type of environment. And I agree with you on what you can and can't do. So I appreciate the comment. I appreciate the comment, and I appreciate what you're trying to say. You're new to the live stream, so it'll take you a little while to get used to how we have to talk here on YouTube. But we're going to be expanding operations here soon, for sure. Robert B says, Stuck, if you're a urologist, yes, my regular for, I don't know what that means. Filtho says, at Y, I remember about 6 million people who registered, 6 million people who regretted just taking a mandatory shower. Very good point, Feltos. Very good point. Robert B says, Doctor, no. Oh, so you're looking for specifics. Okay. That's Robert V's the way he sees it. And says social pressure is a horrible reason to get jabbed. I agree. If the benefits outweigh the risks, then go for it. If not, then yeah. I think you make a good point. Social pressure is bad just in general, whether it be because oftentimes it's so negative. And it doesn't really benefit anybody. Social pressure, like why does someone else have to be so concerned with what I do? I'll never understand that. Like, you guys, I've never asked. I don't think I've asked anybody in here, have you had the jab? Or if I have, it's been in the context of, were there any side effects? You've come out and said you've had the jab or whatever. Like, were there side effects? Did you, are you okay? Is everything good? Because I'm hoping to hear positive news, right? I want to hear the positivity from it. So, yeah, it's a bad idea to let social pressure sway you into doing those things. Lyle says, Lyle, thank you again for throwing out the challenge. I really appreciate it. And everybody who contributed, my heart goes out to you guys. Lyle says, Todd Bailey, I got that one a week and a half ago. Can't tell if I had side effects or not. The hurricane was passing Florida at the time. Fair enough. Fair enough, Lyle. And I'm glad it didn't affect you negatively. Or Stuck, for that matter, or anybody else that's gotten a jab. Let's see. Facebook just notified you will be live in 2 hours. Good for Facebook. That doesn't surprise me. Stuck says, Robert V. agreed. A specialist is what I meant, not a general physician. Fair enough. Ross says, have you thought about writing a book about your experiences here as a school teacher? I've actually just talked to a publisher yesterday about writing 3 books, Ross. And you just added a 4th one to the book. It'll be an ebook, and looking forward to being able to get those out. It won't be a long process. And while I'm partially furloughed, now is the time to do it, for sure. Bangkok Warrior says, I have high blood pressure and had a stroke because of it. I'm definitely afraid the jab will trigger another stroke. Well, that's fair, Bangkok Warrior. I mean, that's a healthy fear. Again, I would, if it were me and I was in your situation, consult my doctor and see what happens. For sure. And I don't blame you for being afraid. I'm afraid, and I just have some minor underlying conditions. Stuck says, I understand that I have someone in my family that can't get the jab right now. Big reason everyone in my family got the jab. That's fair. That's cool. Doing it to protect a family member. Hey, I get it. That's 100% okay. Hey, look, if I said it wasn't okay, it doesn't matter. Okay. First of all, I wouldn't say that, but my opinion means nothing. It's up to you as an individual. It's up to you as a person and it's up to you as a family and as a community to decide whether or not, what works best for you. It's just up to you. It's your freedom. Robert V says, for your personal decision making, are the potential jab side effects worse than its potential side effects? And Robert, to answer your question, that is a very good question. No, I am far more, personally, I am far more afraid of the side effects from getting this than I am from the side effects of getting it. I believe with the regimen I'm on right now, that I've been on for the longest time, it wouldn't be too much of a problem. Just my personal opinion. Don't know. It could be very bad. But as far as my fear level, that scares me more right now. But that's just me. Again, just me. Anon says, where'd I go? DoMoreLife, by the way, if when you get the jab, suggest you have plenty of that electrolyte powder available. I got it. I got a big box of Royal D, and I also have a box of the other little stuff. By the way, I was gifted my supplements again. Lyle, I know you always ask about this. I told you guys I was going to make a video on the supplements that I took for 30 days. They were all natural, all vegan, completely clean supplements. And I took those for 30 days and lost 5 kilos. I just got gifted those supplements again. Basically the same ones that I took before. In fact, the exact same ones I took before. So I will update you when I get that shipment in. I'll do a start to finish. That's what I'm going to do. So as soon as that comes in, it should be here in 5 to 7 business days. They actually, the person that gifted it to me, put the 5 to 7 day shipping on it. So it didn't take the 21 days to get here like it did last time. Last time it took 18 days to get here, but it can take up to 21. So I'm excited about that. That'll be good. And yes, Anon, I agree. The electrolytes and everything I can possibly do. Yeah, that's cool. Yes, definitely time for the book, says Robert N. I absolutely plan on doing those very, very soon. Plan on getting starting on those. So I hope you guys will be interested in that and help promote it. I think it would be, there's going to be a 3-part series, but now it looks like it's going to be a 4-part series because Ross just gave me another idea, which is what Ross does. I would read your book, says Robert V. Good. That's awesome. 42 up, 6 down. I can live with that all day long, Lyle. Thanks for keeping an eye on that. Charles says, I had the J version. Lethargic, dry mouth, slight headache, and slept late the next day. Nothing else, but I have no underlying health issues. Fair enough. Sounds like it worked out well for you. Just hope that nothing pops up down the road. That's another concern that I have. It's a fair concern to have. It's not. I'm not discrediting in any way the jabs. I think, by the sentiment of the Thai people here, I think that getting the jabs and reaching herd immunity is the only way Thailand's ever going to get its tourism industry back. But like I said, I think the exact date that the tourism industry will return to normal, as in like it was normal, is never. I think it will always be different. I think that the tourism industry in Thailand will recover. And once that herd immunity has been reached, it will recover quickly. But the money that has been lost is going to take some time to make that money up for sure. Anna says about the book, good. I make good use of my Kindle app these days. Awesome. Philto says about the social media pressure. My BA is in psychology. I've also been an investor and student of behavior for about 30 years. Both have convinced me that when the mob runs one way, it's time to run the other. Easy. This is no different. Other way. That is definitely an opinion given by Philthos. I've seen that happen before, and I've seen cases where you need to run the other way. Not sure about this one. It is what it is. Rob P says, have you ever read Off the Rails is Pinopim Cambodia? No, I haven't. And I says, Charles White, my reactions to that jab exactly long term, getting the Vax QR code is infinitely worth it. Fair enough. And says, amen to Philthos. Stuck says, Philthos, sometimes the mob is running out of a burning building. Hey, you got a good point there, Stuck. That's an alternative theory. Or that's an alternate to Philthos' theory, so that's fair enough. What's up, Prince? My classmate is South African. I'm not going to read that. You guys can read it. Okay. Don't leave anything up about death or whatever. I'm not sure what you meant by that, Prince, about I'm out. Not 100% sure, but that's okay. Anyway, thank you for the comment. Charles White says, Anon, all I got was a little paper card. Would like something more official. Phnom Penh, Rob says. No, I have not read up on Phnom Penh, but I would like to visit there someday. Yeah, definitely sorry to hear about the Prince. Sorry to hear about your friend. That's for sure. Hope the family's okay, because that is a terrible situation. And I says that Charles White, that's all I got initially. Wally World updated later on with a computerized version with the QR code. Took about 2 months. Sent me notice by text message. Cool. Rob P says, great book about teachers and old Southeast Asian teacher culture. Oh, that would be good. Michael says he had the P version with no side effects whatsoever. That's great. That's fantastic. That's what I'm hoping for. Prayerford says, I'm booked for Patia. Of course, I have cancellation insurance. I hope you can meet some of your subscribers when things change. Me too. I'm definitely looking forward to doing that again. Y says, I already had the bug, lost sense of smell and taste for about a month, lots of phlegm and lungs, for which a regimen of antibiotics fixed, and that's about it. Had worse colds in the past. That's what my dad said too. My dad said the same thing. Anon says, DoMoreLife on the book. I read Simon's book, loved it. Plan to read Rob's book when it comes out. Look forward to yours as well. Awesome. I didn't even know those guys had books or was planning books. I'm going to do a series of mine, and someone is calling me right now. Let's just take this live. Hello? This is him. I did try to sign up for an AstraZeneca shot this morning, yes. This is Barbara from the U.S. Embassy, guys. Okay, go ahead. I am confirmed for an appointment on Sunday. Is that correct? All right. So I will be at the location. Is that you should have my email though. I put my email on the form. Okay. Okay. Well, I will be there during that appointment time. I believe it was between 1600 and 1800, I think. Okay. I'll be there on Sunday. Thank you very much. All right. Bye bye. Well, there you have it, guys. I'll be getting an AZ jab on Sunday. How about that? Live on the air. Getting the AZ jab on Sunday afternoon. So I got in there early enough. AZ Unscripted, thank you, brother, because without you, I would not be signed up or registered for that. So thank you for passing along that information. I was one of the very lucky few that got through. They called because they said on the form that my email address was not on there, so instead they called. How about that? So anyway, we're gonna have some more content coming out, that's for sure. And let's hope everything goes well. It's a good thing Monday is a holiday. Just in case I have a bad day on Monday, we'll see what happens. So more content coming there. I'll be getting AZ on Sunday, boys. We'll see what happens. So one way or the other, I'm not sure at this moment exactly how I feel about it, but I'm kind of excited. Little bit nervous, but it is what it is, right? Let's see. Okay, where was I in the comments? Charles says, Anna, I got mine at a mall. Military personnel effectively had me in a 10-minute in and out in 10 minutes. I have to look to see can I get something from country. MedTech says, I read Off the Rails in Cambodia. The book was published about 20 years ago. Cool. No, definitely wasn't a car warranty there, Charles. Stuck in Florida is laughing. Everybody else says, Lyle says, we want to talk to you about your car's warranty. I know, right? Yeah, thanks, Agent Unscripted again. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate all thumbs up there, guys. And let's face it, the embassy or DoMoreLife fans, they might be filthos. I don't know. Charles said live stream Monday checkup for the family. I can do that. I can definitely do that. Can do a live stream and let you guys know how I'm feeling. So we'll get to see it firsthand. I'm a little bit nervous, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Bangkok Warrior says, that's great news, Jeremy. Please tell us how it went. Hope you don't feel any side effects. I hope I don't either. So with that being said, I'm going to try to calm myself down a little bit and hope that everything goes according to plan. And you guys, if you pray. If you just send positive thoughts and energy, send it, and hopefully everything will go as planned. I hope. We'll see. We will definitely see. So AZ for me on Sunday. I want to thank everyone who contributed to the channel and myself today. I appreciate you guys so much for the monetary contributions. You have no idea. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate my moderators helping keep this channel clean and help keeping it safe from trolls. I really appreciate that. I want to thank all the channel members on here for being channel members and for being awesome, just awesome people. And I look forward to setting up the line group. I'll do that later today. So you guys on the East Coast should be getting wake up to a new group. And I want to thank everybody who made any kind of comment today and participated in the conversation. I respect your comments. I respect your choices. To me, there's no right or wrong. They're just what is. Asian Script says they are also offering Australians the jab earlier in the day, according to the Tiger. Interesting. Charles says, no stress, you got this. I hear you, bud. Michael says you'll be fine. I certainly hope so. Anon says, for those looking for a good Thai-based book series, look at John Burnett's something Gyptily cheap series, 6 books, crime thriller with a strong Thai flavor to it. Interesting. Hit that thumbs up button on the way out. Absolutely live. Stuck says Asia Unscripted. I heard they were already booked up. Yep. Asia. What happened this morning is Asia Unscripted contacted me and sent me an email, forwarded the email to me within minutes of him getting the email. And so I immediately signed up for it. And that's how it happened, guys. So I'll be getting the jab on Sunday. I'm at a loss for words right now because I really don't know. The sequence for the 2 AZ jabs are, as of right now, the last thing I read, they're 12 weeks apart, I believe. Yeah, so try not to think about Do More Life while falling asleep tonight. Troll challenge. Troll challenge. Try not to think about Do More Life while falling asleep tonight. It says Phil Toast. I hear you, buddy. That's a good one. But yeah, Unscripted, we have him to thank for this. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you sending me that link. And we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm up in arms right now because I don't really know what to say or what to do. So we'll see what happens. I will see you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. Here. We'll talk about some fun stuff. Of course, we'll talk about my appointment later in the afternoon that I'll have. So it'll be today's Saturday here, so it's literally tomorrow I'll be getting it. And we'll see what happens. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm kind of excited, kind of nervous. So anyway, love you guys. Mean it. Thank you so much for making it a good, successful day for DoMoreLife and the DoMoreLife family. Everybody take care. Thank you, everyone, again, for everything that you do and for being a part of this live stream. I can't thank you enough. So love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.